We hope you're all doing well. Welcome and come on in and join us.
Hi everyone, welcome to Pilates for Life off location. As we try and continue moving throughout our day, spending our time at home, we'll stay connected in this manner, sharing some classes with you to participate in with us in your own home. So we're going to start with a warm-up. I'm going to grab a mat, grab a resistance band. If you don't have a resistance band, I would recommend maybe a towel that you could roll up and use to simulate a band. So we're going to sit. I'm going to crisscross my legs. You're welcome to sit crisscross. If this is hard for you, then I would recommend sitting up on something like a pillow or something to elevate your sits bones and your pelvis up. So to start our warm-up, we're going to bring that strap in front of the body. We're going to sit up nice and tall. You can use your towel or your band. And we're going to row to the chest, opening through that chest. And then we're going to extend back out through those elbows, keeping your chest nice and open. We're going to row to the sternum and extend away. Sitting tall, 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 right up on those sits bones as though your head was floating up towards the ceiling, and extend out. Pulling elbows away from one another, feeling a width across the front of the body and the back. And we're going to row, sitting up nice and tall, and extend out. Staying tall, we're going to bring that band overhead. As I'm here, I'm not going to shrug those shoulders. I'm going to glide those shoulder blades down the back, navel in, ribs tucked. We're going to come to chest level, and we're going to rotate up. So we're warming up those shoulders, that upper back, keeping that spine long, engaging that core from the very beginning of our workout. Lower and lift. Two more, lower and lift. Staying there, I'm going to side bend. And as I side bend, I'm putting weight in the opposing hip, anchoring a hand to the floor, extending those hands longer if necessary on that band or that towel. We're not going to lean into the hip. We're going to keep the opposite hip down. That whole spine is in that side bend coming from that waistline. Then I'm going to hollow out those abdominals. I'm going to round up and over that knee. Getting some rotation and some flexion in that spine. We're going to round up and over. Restack that spine. I feel as though I have a ball in my lap and I'm rounding up and over that beach ball. We stack that spine back up. We round up and over. And reach tall, preserving that side bend and weight in the opposite hip. And then stack that spine up. Stay there. We're going to take an inhale. And as we exhale, we stack back up nice and tall. And we begin to side bend the opposite direction, anchoring a hand, opposite hand, up and over. Little weight in the opposing hip again. Some space between your head and your arms. And then we round again. And we restack in that side bend. I'm trying to make a straight line with my towel or my band on the floor. And we restack. As we're moving, we exhale. And we inhale, tucking those ribs down, that belly in. And round. And return. And one more. We're going to round over, little weight in the opposing hip. Stack that spine up again. Take an inhale. As you exhale, you lift that hand off. Band is back to centered over the head. I'm going to pulse back. We're going to pulse back as we press through those shoulders. Trying to keep that lift through the head to the ceiling so the body doesn't move. We're just opening through that chest and shoulder girdle. Press, 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 and press. Return to chest level, down to the knees, and hold. All right. If this, again, is an uncomfortable position for you, perhaps you have tight hamstrings and you feel tension in your head and neck, I would recommend putting a small pillow under your head. So we're going to glide those fingertips towards the feet, shoulders back and down. Think of that openness across the chest. Then I'm going to engage that navel to spine, engaging those abdominals to gently pull my low back into the mat as I lift one leg to a tabletop position. Hold, ribs down, navel in, other leg comes to a tabletop position. Make sure that head and neck remain soft. We're going to keep that point in the toes, abdominals engaged. We're going to take one leg and try and open it to the side in a parallel position, as though you're opening the page of a book, keeping the opposing hip down. That'll dictate how far you go. Other leg is going to open, keeping the opposing hip down, and return to that center spot. So it's like your body is the spine of a book, and you open a page. You're going to feel some load in those abdominals as you open that leg out. So probably the hardest thing here is keeping the opposing hip down, as well as keeping the knee and the ankle on the same plane as you open in that parallel leg position. And one more time, open out and return, holding here. We do some toe dips. So abdominals in, you're going to take an inhale, and as you exhale, you're going to lower one leg as though you're going to dip that toe in some water without allowing that back to move. Navel in, ribs down. Return to tabletop. Take an inhale. Exhale. Navel in, neck long, lower, and reach back up. So we are extending through the hip joint. We are not bending the knee more. We're preserving the same amount of flexion in the knee, and we move through that hip. As that leg goes lower and lower and lower, you feel that load in the abdominals. And again, we lower abs in, ribs tucking down, and we lift up and hold. Staying there. We're going to flex the feet. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, let's unfold those legs up and feel that stretch in the back of the legs, keeping that tailbone down. We're going to return to tabletop inhale. We're going to press out, exhale. Keeping that flex, bend knees, and extend. Inhale, bend, and exhale, extend. Eyes to the ceiling. I'm going to point the toes. I'm going to rotate out from the hips. Abs in. I'm going to take an inhale. We're going to lower those legs. Because the head is down, very quickly, you're going to feel some tension or some challenge in those abdominals, especially keeping the tuck of those ribs down. You're going to feel that difficulty of those ribs wanting to flare towards the ceiling. So we're going to keep that toe point. You don't have to go very low to feel a lot of abdominal challenge here. 2 more. Inhale up. Exhale down. And 1 more. Inhale up. Exhale down. Return to the ceiling. Parallel legs. Bend the knees. One foot comes down. The other foot comes down. Let's hold there. We're going to take an inhale. We're going to try and hold that neutral pelvis. Tailbone down, pubic bone down. On our exhale, we're going to lift head, neck, shoulders after we reach the neck and head to the back wall. Lift, tuck that chin, and glide that sternum down towards that pubic bone, trying to keep that tailbone up, or rather down, rather than curling up. We're going to stay put, eyes to the thighs. We're going to release a bit and pulse up. Release and chest lift up. So I think of sternum towards pubic bone. I keep my chin up and over an imaginary ball. Really feeling a lot of work in those abdominals as I make that small pulse into the abs. 3 more. 2. Gliding those shoulder blades down the back. 1. Hold, inhale. As you exhale, you feel those ribs come away from those hips, and you bring that body down. I'm going to bring one leg to tabletop again. Navel in, ribs tucking. Other leg to tabletop. We're going to extend those legs out, or up rather, and turn out. Hands to the ceiling, shoulders down, chest open, and then we're going to chest lift back up with those legs reaching. Holding there, hold that position. I'm going to take an inhale and exhale, one leg down. Bring it up, and the other. So we're going to alternate without letting those hips rock or that pelvis move. Again. And then we're going to start switching or scissoring. As one leg lifts, the other one releases down. Three more. 2. 1. Legs come back up, return to parallel. Woo, getting winded there. Now we're working. Bring head, neck, shoulders down. Bring one leg down. Bring the other leg down and hold. Continuing on from there, we're going to stay in this reclined position. We're going to extend those legs out long away from you. Abdominals in. Shoulders back and down. We're going to point the toes. We're going to lift the right leg to tabletop with an inhale, toe pointed, and then we're going to extend that leg up to the ceiling. I'm going to gently press the left heel into the floor, and we're going to try and keep those hips very stable, lengthen that neck, eyes up to the ceiling. We're going to turn out from that hip, take that leg out away from you as far as you can without the opposing hip lifting, circle down towards the opposite foot and come up. Turn out from the hip, open out. Circle down and around and up. So I just showed you two different versions there. We can either, as we take the leg out and go down, around, up, we can cross over the midline and return. Or if you want to have a smaller range of motion, we just come up the center of the body. So I'll keep it smaller. This is about the control, keeping that length in that leg, out the hip joint, out the knee and the toe, and keeping the opposing hip very stable as we circle. Good. Let's reach down towards the floor and hold their abs in. We're going to lift the opposing leg to tabletop, toe up to the ceiling, gentle press of the opposite heel again into the mat, neck long. We're going to turn out, take the leg away from you, circle down and around. On the second one, I'll go a little bit bigger where we circle through that midline or cross that midline back up. But I'm going to keep my circles a little bit smaller. So turn out, circle down, around, return up in parallel, turn out. Circle down, around, and up, return in parallel. We're going to do 4 more. 3. Navel in as that leg gets further away from you. 2. And 1. Engage in those abdominals to keep that pelvis very stable. Take an inhale. Exhale, abs in as that leg lowers. There's a lot of tension as that leg gets long, lowering away from your body. Lower that leg down and hold. We're going to again bend the right knee, bring the leg to tabletop, extend that leg up to the ceiling, neck relaxed, turn out a little bit from that hip, and do little circles. So as we're circling, we're keeping that reach to the ceiling and those hips stable. Circle, 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 and circle. Come back, we'll reverse. Circle around, small circles, like you're painting a circle on the ceiling. 3, 2, and 1. Back to parallel. And we're going to lower that leg down. Abs in, the lower that leg goes. We're going to bend the right leg to tabletop, or left leg rather. Send that toe up to the ceiling, shoulders down. Turn out a bit, and we're going to circle clockwise. Keeping those hips stable. Circle, circle, reaching through that hip. Opposite heel press into floor. Circle and circle. Hold there, opposite direction. Navel in, ribs down. 2 more. 1 more set of small circles. Return to parallel leg and reach that leg long and to the floor. Arms are going to go to the ceiling, overhead, and take a nice stretch. As we bring those arms overhead, watch that those ribs don't just flare to the ceiling. We're going to drop those shoulder blades down. We're also going to connect those ribs down towards the front of those hips and feel the back of those ribs and that low back pressing into the floor with those abs engaged. Arms back up to the ceiling and down. Let's bend the knees and hold there. From this position, we're going to go ahead and transition to our stomachs to do a bit of extension. So I would recommend just rolling over onto your side, centering your body. And I like to do this exercise oftentimes with a foam roller or a ball, but since we are home and we may not have access to those things, I grabbed a couple of cans of tomatoes from my pantry. So we're going to use those. So I'm going to place my hands on top of those cans. I'm going to open those legs out to a small V, pointing the toes. I'm going to think of lengthening through that neck as I look down towards my mat, lengthening through my toes, and feel as though I'm really pressing my pubic bone, my thigh bones into the mat, and kind of lengthening the top of the feet. As I put my hands on top of those cans, I'm going to begin by drawing those scapula or shoulder blades or armpits down towards my hips, rolling those shoulders back. Engage that navel to spine and begin to lift from that sternum up as I roll through those cans towards me, assisting to press those shoulders back. As I get higher, I need to keep that chest open, that navel engaged, those ribs down, and then I'm going to slowly paint the front of my body back down into the mat, head, neck, shoulders last. We lengthen through those thighs and those toes. We draw that navel in and off the mat. We roll those shoulders down. We begin to chest lift up. We begin to extend up. And up the higher I come, I think of opening through my hips. Shoulders down, navel in. Slowly paint your pubic bone, your belly, your navel, your ribs, chest, head, neck and shoulders. Take an inhale. Exhale, roll those shoulders back, draw that navel and lift through that sternum up and up. Roll those shoulders back and down. Engage those abdominals to keep that low back stable as we extend through that upper back. Inhale and exhale to slowly paint that body back down. We'll do 2 more of those. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, drop those shoulders and armpits. Start to raise those eyes. Start to raise that sternum up. Abs in as you get higher. Open through those hips. Inhale. Exhale. Keep those eyes where they are. Paint your body down from that pubic bone towards the head last. And again, we take an inhale. We exhale. We roll those shoulders back. Press those hips into the mat. Lift the eyes up. Navel in as we lift. We open through those hips. Abs in. Hold that lift. Take an inhale. Exhale. Slowly paint that body down. Painting yourself down from pubic bone towards head and neck. I'm going to place those hands off to the side. I'm going to stack my hands together. Give myself a place to rest my head and neck. I'm going to scoot forward a little bit. Holding that position. I want you to bend the right leg, bringing that heel towards your seat. Let's flex the foot. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, I want you to feel that you press the hips into the mat and we lift that knee slightly off the mat and feel that seat engage. We lower and we lift. Lower, squeezing that seat, we lift. 4 and lift. 5, lift. 6 and lift. 7, navel in. Lift, pressing that hip into the mat, and 8, and lift. Lower down, point that toe, lengthen out that leg. We're going to bend the opposite knee, flex the foot, press the pubic bone into the mat, shoulders down, and gently lift from above that knee, feeling that seat engage. Lower, and exhale, squeezing that seat, we lift. Keep those hips on the mat. 3, lower, and lift for 4. I have to really think of relaxing the upper body. 5, lower, lift for 6, 2 more, and 7, 1 more, and 8. Lower down, point that toe, reach out that leg and lower that leg down. Staying there. I'm going to bring those hands to the mat and we're going to kneel. We're going to have those hands under the shoulders, separate those feet a little bit. Separating the knees a bit too. We're in that neutral spine position, looking down, lengthen that neck, abdominals in. I want you to take your right leg back onto the ball of the foot, left leg back onto the ball of the foot. So we're in this plank position, shoulders down, eyes looking down. We're going to lift the right leg up, pointing that toe. Then we're going to flex to the left heel and come back to the ball of that foot, shoulders down. 2, and come back. Reaching through that right toe. 3, and come back. 4, bring it back in. Press and come in. 2 more. Lower that heel and lift. 1 more. Lower that heel and lift. Place the right ball of the foot down. We're going to lift the left, point that toe, feel that seat engage, shoulders down. We're going to flex the right heel and lift. 4, 2. Keeping those abs engaged. 3 and 4. Shoulders down. 5, don't drop that left leg. 6, navel in. 7, 1 more, and 8. Lift, lower that left leg rather. Come down onto your knees, 1 and 2. And round back over those heels and stretch. Good, stack that spine up, 1 vertebra at a time and hold. All right, returning back to lying on our back, we're gonna again, lengthen through the fingertips, shoulders back and down. Abdominals engaged, navel in, ribs down. We're lifting 1 leg to tabletop, toe pointed. Abs in, other leg to tabletop. We're going to take an inhale, lengthen that neck as we send those toes up. Exhale. We're going to inhale here and exhale, reach. Feeling that stretch to the back of the legs. Trying to keep that upper body relaxed. And then we're going to hold the next one. We're going to extend and hold. Trying to use the arms as little as possible. We're going to take a deep inhale And as we exhale, we're going to start to peel that pelvis off and jackknife those legs over the body, rounding that spine. Think of that spine like a long capital C, where there's a ball between my chest and my thighs. So we're not going to just collapse the legs down and collapse through that spine. We're going to take an inhale, and then keeping that spine intact, we're going to try and lift through those toes up. Dropping those legs back towards you, but hollowing out those abdominals as we do so. We're going to return those legs to pike over you. Shoulders down, we're going to lift up. Keep lengthening that neck. Keep that spine very stable. We're going to lift 2 more. Relax the upper body. Exhale, those legs come up. Inhale, release. And exhale, bring those legs back up. Lowering down, we're going to flex the feet. Open the legs out to a V. Feel that stretch as we gently drop those feet towards the floor. Bring those legs back together. Point those toes. We're going to roll that spine down towards the floor. Trying to paint that spine down, trying to relax that upper body. Very challenging. Holding there. We're going to take an inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, bring those legs down one at a time. Sit up tall. Let's do a one-legged teaser. So sitting up tall, we're going to lift the right leg to tabletop. I'm just going to put my hands under that knee a little bit. Chest up, shoulders down. We're going to straighten through that leg. As that leg straightens, keep a little tuck of that chin. The body's going to feel like it wants to slump towards the floor, and the shoulders are going to want to hike towards those ears. So we keep that chest up, that spine long, those shoulders back as we straighten. Bring that leg down. Opposite leg is going to lift, toe pointed, shoulders back. And think chest or sternum is magnetized towards that thigh as we straighten. Little tuck of that chin. 3 and 4. Getting that stretch. 5. Let's do one more. 6. Bend, put that foot down. I'm going to bring those hands behind me. Shoulders back and down. Walk those hands a little bit away from you. The closer they are to you, the harder this is, but we want to keep good form. So shoulders down and back. Again, we have a bit of a chest lift of sternum towards thighs. We're going to roll just back off those sits bones a little bit. Keep that spine long. We're going to lift the right leg to tabletop and the left leg to tabletop. I'm going to go ahead and bend my elbows a little bit to draw those shoulders down away from those ears so we don't end up in the shoulders here. And we're going to straighten. We're going to bend those knees, inhale. Navel in, chest stays lifting towards those thighs. A little tuck of that gaze towards those toes, not the ceiling. And reach. Spine long and tall, reach. Big ab challenge here, guys, reach. 2 more, navel in, ribs down, reach. Shoulders down, lift through that spine. And reach, bend those knees. Put one foot down, the other foot down, hold. Round up and over, stretching, navel in. Stack that spine up again, nice and tall. All right, so we're going to transition back to our stomachs again to do a bit more extension. Let's go on and do some swimming. So lying on our stomachs again, we're going to again rotate out from the hips, toes long, pressing those hips and thighs into the mat. I'm going to take my hands overhead as though I was in a swimming pool. We're going to keep that gaze towards the mat, neck long. And I'm going to draw armpits down towards the hips. So engaging that navel to spine. First, we're going to lift the arms up and feel that navel to spine. And lower down. And then navel in, thighs pressing the mat. Let's lift the legs up. Trying to keep that back very stable. Good. Now we're going to attempt to lift both. So navel in, tucking that belly button towards the spine. We're going to lift the arms off the mat and that chest slightly off. Chin tucked, and then we're going to lift the legs off, toes pointed. We're going to alternate lowering one leg as we lift the opposite. I've rotated out from my arms a bit so that I lead with my pinkies. That helps keep the shoulders down. And then we're going to change sides. And we're going to pick up the pace. We're going to inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale. Really feeling length through those fingers and those toes. Out the tailbone and the top of the head. Keeping that sternum slightly lifted. Belly button in. You don't want to feel tension, that low back. So it's a lift from the sternum And the eyes. Abs in. 3 more. 2. 1. Hold. Lift everything a little higher. Hold. And bring it all down. We're going to bring those hands in. We're going to come up onto the knees. We're going to round over those heels and stretch out that back a little bit. Coming into that flexion position. And then we're going to stack that spine up again all the way up. And let's have a seat facing that same direction. We're going to place the feet on the floor, parallel leg position, a little bit of space between those feet, sitting right up on those sits bones. I'm going to bring those arms out in front of me, shoulders back. We're going to begin to pelvic tilt. So we're going to hollow out those abdominals like a seatbelt pulls you back and roll just off of those sits bones. Holding there, weight in the opposite foot to the direction we're going to rotate in. So left leg is heavy, left hip is heavy. And then I'm going to rotate and reach with my sternum and feel those obliques working hard. Come back to face front, round up, and stack that spine up. Shoulders back. Hollow out those abdominals and begin to rotate that chest the opposite way without letting that opposite hip and foot lift. Come back to face front, round up. Sit up taller, stack that spine. Go a little faster. We're going to take an inhale, shoulders back. Exhale, round and reach. Bring it up. Roll back and reach that sternum around. Round it up and stack it up. Round back and reach. Stack it up as we round up and over those thighs and straighten again. Round it back. C curl up, stack that spine. Round it back, rotate. C curl up, stack it up. Round it back and rotate. C curl up, stack that spine. A few more. Exhale. One more. Stack it up and hold. We're going to take an inhale, shoulders back. We're going to exhale, C curl back. Rotate around, hold that rotation. Come and face front, inhale. Rotate, exhale. Spine doesn't move. Weight in both of your feet. Think of that rotation coming from that rib cage and sternum. Not throwing that arm back too far. You want to feel like you're springing that shoulder. Again, we're going to open and rotate back to face front. And one more. Rotate those ribs and sternum around and back to face front, shoulders back. C, curl your way up over those thighs and stack your spine up, shoulders back, opposite way. Sitting tall. We're going to hollow out those abdominals, roll back a bit, hold. Heaviness in those feet. We're going to rotate it open. Come back to face front, hold that position for 2. And rotate. 3, sternum is what opens to the side and eyes follow that sternum. 4, come back to face front. 2 more. 5, and 1 more. Take those ribs and sternum around. Hold your position. 6, come back to face front. Inhale. C, curl up over those thighs. Stack that spine up tall again and hold. For this next series, I'm going to grab a chair. And we're going to turn and face the chair, hands on the chair, lightly resting. I'm going to walk my feet back just until I come to a flat back. So I think sits bones back, chest lifting through, navel to spine. Again, think armpits down towards your hips. We're looking straight down to the mat. Parallel legs. I'm going to take my right leg around into the back of me and lift that leg up behind me. I think of a little inner wrap of that leg so that I keep my hips facing the floor per se. Shoulders down. We're going to lower that leg a bit and lift. Keeping that lift, we go a little bit higher and squeeze through that seat. Lower and lift. 4 more. Shoulders down, navel in as you lift. 3 more. Lift. 2 and lift. 1 and lift and hold there. You're going to bend that supporting leg a bit and extend it back up. We're going to lower and lift. We're keeping the lift of the opposing extended leg. 4 and lift. 5, keep that reach. 6, reach up. Small bend, 2 more. Reach up. 1 more and straighten. We're going to bring that leg back down, returning to that nice flat long line. We're going to take the opposite leg back behind, point that toe, lift that leg up, engage that seat. Thinking of a little inner wrap of that leg bone in the hip joint, navel in. We lower here and we lift. So we go from a lifted position to a little higher and reach for 3. Armpits down, 4. Exhale up, 5. And 6. 2 more. 7. 1 more. Lift and hold. Small bend of the supporting leg without dropping the extended leg and straighten. 2. And press. Keep the reach to the opposite leg. 3. Knee over second toes, you bend. 4. Keep those eyes down. 5. Reach. Abs in. 6. Chest up. Reach. 7. 1 more. Bend and extend. Bring that leg back down under you. Back to your nice flat back hold there. We're going to take an inhale. As you exhale, navel to spine, I want you to draw those armpits down and I want you to draw that chest up towards your chair and extend through that upper back. Return back to a more neutral flat back line. Inhale. Exhale, navel in. Draw that chest through towards the chair. And return back to your flat back. 2 more. Armpits down. Reach those eyes and that chest through. Return to a more flat back. And 1 more time. Draw those shoulders down. Draw that chest through. Abs in. Keep those sits bones back. But navel to spine so that low back doesn't arch beyond its natural curve. Hold there. We're going to walk the legs in a bit and we're going to round through that spine. So really pull that pelvis under. Draw those armpits down and give me roundness through that waistline. And then return back to a flat back. Lifting that chest through, eyes to the floor. And again, tuck that pelvis under. Lift that navel up. Roundness through that waistline rather than excessive roundness to that upper body. And then return back again to a flat back, sits bones back, chest up. Tuck that chin. Round again, pelvic tilt, pelvic tilt, pelvic tilt. Walk in towards your chair, shoulders down, and stack your spine up nice and tall. All right, stepping in close to the chair. We're going to place the hands lightly on that chair. We're going to have those eyes straight ahead. A little turn out in the hips, toes pointing out. We're going to lift those heels up and lower. So as we lift and lower those heels, I think about that navel scooping in and up under my rib cage. So I engage that core, shoulder blades down the back. As the spine lifts tall and lower, we lift and lower. 3 more and lower. 2 and lower. 1 and lower. Let's lift up and hold there. I'm going to plie down an invisible wall behind us as though we're grazing along that wall, and I'm going to stand it up tall. Slide down and reach. So we're keeping that back intact. As I reach up, I think of sits bones drawing together. I think of lifting from above those knees, really activating those quads and those glutes. Lower and lift. Lower and lift. Heels stay on the same plane. We're going to combine lifting, lower heels, lift heels, plie and reach up. Lower heels, lift heels, plie and reach up. 2 more. Plie and lift. 1 more. Heels up. Bend knees, reach tall. Staying there, heels stay up. We're going to plie down, navel in. We're going to pulse down, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Reach up, lower heels. Lift heels again. Plie down and hold. Staying there, back not moving, we're going to outwardly wrap a little bit more and release. 2. Abs in as we wrap those thigh bones outwardly, rotating through those hips, and wrap out, release. 4 more, release. 3, 2, 1. Release. Stand it up, heels down. 1 more set, heels up. Plie down. Again, we're going to wrap out and release. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Release a bit. Stand it up, lower heels. We're going to step out wide. Staying there. We're going to lift those heels up and plie low. Staying there. Heels on that same plane. We're going to pulse down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Again, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Reach it up. Lower heels. We're going to combine those two. Heels up. Plie down. Reach tall. Lower heels. One more slow. Slow repetition. Down. Reach up and lower heels. Let's go a little faster. We're going to lift and plie. Reach tall. Lower heels. Lift up. Abs in as we plie. Reach tall and lower. We're thinking about feeling that separation across the sits bones, drawing them together as we reach up again. Plie. Draw those sits bones together. Lower. Lift and plie. Reach up, lower heels. 2 more. Lift. Plie. Reach up, lower heels. 1 more. Lift. Plie. Reach up and lower. Lift up, hold. Plie down and hold. Shoulders down, navel in. We're going to reach up a bit and lower. 2 and lower. 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Stay there. And go a little lower. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Reach it all the way up. Lower heels and hold. Come back to parallel. We're going to stay there. Reach heels up. Plie and parallel. Sitting back in an invisible chair behind you. We're going to pulse there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Reach up, lower heels. All right, let's move on to a little bit of balance work. So I'm going to place one hand on the chair, other hand on my hip for now. I'm going to take that opposite leg out, so left leg out for me, and that same arm is going to go up. Reaching tall, navel in. We're going to lift that leg directly off the hip and lower. Lift and lower. Reach up on that exhale. Inhale down. Shoulders down and lower. Opposite arm comes up. Holding there. We're going to do that same thing. 2. Abs and shoulders down. 3. And 4. 5. Weight in the center of that foot. 6. 7. And 8. Lower down. Stay there. I'm going to lift up and try to pulse. 2, 3, reach tall. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Bring it down. Arm comes down and hold. We'll do the other side. Move this chair over here. Place the hand here. Opposite leg goes out. Opposite arm comes up. Hold there. We're going to lift as we reach tall. Take that leg right off the side of that hip. Without letting it come forward. 4. Hold there. Opposite arm is going to come up. Shoulders down. We're going to lift and lower. Reach it tall. 3 and 4. Shoulders down. 5. Navel in as you lift. 6, 7, and 8. Reach it up. We're going to hold and pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Bring it down. Arms come down and hold. And then again, we're going to step out wide in that turnout position. We're going to plie down, knee over second toe, sitting in a stool underneath your seat, and then we're going to lift just the left heel, one heel. Try not to hike that hip or lose our alignment. So reaching through that sits bone, chest up, we're going to pulse down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 2. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 2 more. 3, 2, 3, 4. Reach through that sits bone. 5, 6, 7, 8. Chest up. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. heel down, reach it up. I'm going to bring the chair around to the other side so I'm still facing you. One hand on the chair, standing out, stepping out a little wider. We're going to plie down. We're going to lift the opposite heel, trying not to hike that hip and lose our alignment, chest up, sits bone pressing into the ground. We're going to pulse 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 2 more sets. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Heel down, stand it up nice and tall, and hold. Let's end with a nice stretch. So sitting down on our mat again, I'm actually going to bring my legs around behind me. Turning out from those hips a little bit, I'm going to sit back on my heels. If this is difficult for you, you could always put a pillow underneath your seat so you have less flexion in your knees if it's hard on your knees. You could also sit like this with your knees bent a bit, chest up. So I'm going to sit back on my heels, sitting up nice and tall, hands to my sides. I'm going to think sternum up. I'm going to peel off an invisible wall. So I'm going to nod my chin and start to round off that invisible wall. And as I round further and further and further, those arms are going to go out in front of me. I'm going to round up over a big beach ball. And then I'm going to think of coming to a flat back. I'm going to bring shoulder blades down the back, and I'm going to draw that chest through, extending up a bit. Back to my flat back, and then tucking my pelvis under, shoulders down. I'm going to pull that navel in and up, and slowly stack that spine back up. Take an inhale. Exhale, nod your chin. Peel head, neck, shoulders off an invisible wall. Let those hands walk out as we round and we round. Round off of that invisible wall. Think sits bones back as that pelvis comes more horizontal. Eyes up, chest through. Lift from those clavicles a bit, shoulders down. And then feel like you sort of drag the floor towards you as you pull that chest through. And extend. Come back to your flat back. Sternum up. Pull that pelvis under. Round through that spine back up and up. All the way up to stack that spine up. And then we're going to roll one more time. Nod that chin. Round off that invisible wall. Walk those hands forward, forward, forward. Come to more of a flat back. Let's bring that body around to the upper body around to the left. Side bend and stretch. Abs in and swing back to center. And then pulling that upper body to the right. We're going to stretch. And come back to center. Pull that chest through again, dragging that ground towards you. Come back to more of a flat back. Pull that pelvis under, round and lift, and roll the shoulders back, and stack that spine all the way up. And hold. Going to bring those legs around to the front. We're going to roll back, extend those hands out. We're going to pelvic tilt, press that back to the ground, and peel up, bridging up. As I get to the top, I tuck my navel and I tuck those ribs down. Then I soften my sternum, and I roll through that spine, all the way through my pubic bone and sits bones. Take an inhale, navel in, exhale, glutes engaged as you walk those sits bones up the back of the legs. And you bridge and you send your knees over your toes, fingers to the feet, shoulders down. Hips stay up as you soften your sternum, roll through your ribs, round through that spine, all the way through that tailbone. Hold there. Thanks for joining us for another session of Pilates, brought to you by Pilates for Life in Punta Gorda, Florida. Willow and I have enjoyed sharing this workout with you. Be well.